to do this, because this practice we're going to learn of is again very appropriate, and so appropriate. Let's get into the mysticism of it, right? Where is your institute's Georgia location located at?
Okay, so Shanti Villa Institute, so we have a location in Conyers, Georgia, and then the main location is in Tuskegee, Alabama, right up the street from the Tuskegee Air Force Base and Tuskegee University. And so we've been in the Conyers location for about 6 years. And so we are Ayurvedic medicine school. We're an eco farm. We have cows, we make plant food and things like that. And then with the Ayurvedic medicine school, I'm also an herbalist. But the main thing that we do is that we are environmentalists. And we like to remind everybody that everybody is an environmentalist. So a lot of times you see on the TV, and I've talked to these scientists and stuff, they say no regular person can have opinions because they have the degree. But I'm like, no, we walked upon the land, we touched the soil, we felt the air on our brow, okay? We felt the sun beam down on us, so we all are environmentalists. So what we do at Shanti Villa Institute is we go to at-risk neighborhoods, we set up farming there, and then we teach Agnihotra, which is a way to clean and reverse pollution. That's right, I said reverse pollution. So Agnihotra is an Ayurvedic practice that we do that will heal the community from the soil to the air to the water and to the minds of the people. And he even said, oh, you're very calm. I said, well, because all these things that are happening to the planet now, they have been prophesied many, many centuries ago. Back in the 70s, when my late husband, who's the founder of our organization, they were talking about this with the Indians and everybody say, oh, the tilt is off, the earth is going to be spinning faster. They talked about this a long time ago. And do you know what else they said in India? They said it would be the black people that would bring the original knowledge back to the forefront in modern society. I was like, wait a minute, they teach this in India? So yeah, so they teach this, that it's the black people that will come about with the regular, the ancient knowledge. So with Agnihotra, we're talking about an ancient technology, because yes, it is technology. People normally think about technology as AI and robots and all of that. However, most ancient technologies is what people did with their hands and their feet when they viewed things, and the wind told them things. So what we're calling science now, that all goes back to what we were doing without all these labs and things like that, okay? So I always tell young people, don't be confused about technology. Technology is what our great-great-great-grandmas and grandpas were doing, okay? And so with Agnihotra, which is the Ayurvedic process, we're talking about giving back to the ecosystem so that way we can continue future generations. So that goes into the land stewardship and things like that. And then if you have polluted air, okay, and your soil is polluted, then how can you have kids that are not gangbanging or raping or any of these things, because you're breathing 2,500 gallons of air in a 24-hour period. And so what is happening to you when you're breathing in this air, okay? So I'm a yogi. So in the yogic system, we focus on deep breathing. We focus on deep breathing. So people were asking me, well, wait a minute, what herb should I get, Mama D, to deal with this stuff from the biolabs? I said, well, you got to get the air together first. I said, because if the air is messed up, the air circulates. It's not a separate thing. It's going to go into the soil. It's going to go everywhere. So you need to come get an Agnihotra kit. Well, I'm just saying my lungs, I can't breathe, all of these things. And I said, well, wait a minute, now you got to deal with the foundation. So the foundation of any stewardship would be to clean the air. To clean the air, have your water and all of that. And so with Agnihotra, we're talking about it cleanses water, cleanses pathogenic bacteria from the air. And there are scientific studies that talk about this, okay, that are not done in this country most of the time, in other countries. So we're talking about something scientifically proven to reverse pollution. So I'm inviting everybody to come to the location here in Conyers so they can feel and see this. This is not just something that I'm saying. You could think, oh, I'm just some crazy little skinny lady up here. I may be skinny, I may be crazy, but I'm telling you the truth. Let me just give you the basic breakdown of Agnihotra. I haven't even got to unpack everything. I'm just going with the speech.
More than anything, I want to make sure you all know this is where it's going to get really exciting.
Well, I know, and we're going to be doing further work together.
Yeah.
Because I need to go to these communities like Flint, Michigan, and Jackson, Mississippi, and go and help the people. Those people have been lied to. They're still asking for money. I'm not asking for any money. I'm just giving information so we can all work together. You see? And Agnihotra, what we do is at sunrise and sunset, we're talking about the basic circadian rhythm. So at sunrise, there's ethers, energies, and electricities that cascade upon the entire planet. And so we start this at sunrise, and then, we start a fire. We prepare the cow dung by spreading the ghee on top of here. We arrange it here, and then we sprinkle a little brown rice when we say some Sanskrit mantras. And so this healing effect, it goes 8 miles up, and it's a 2-mile radius. And as he can tell you, it definitely works. You can feel the difference. So in about 2 weeks, when you do this process, you will be able to tell the difference with the air. You'll be able to see the difference in your flowers and things like that in your garden. You'll see all kind of animals coming into your space that you normally do not see. And you'll be able, I'll say about 2 weeks. And then we perform this again at sunset to also deal with the healing effect when things recede. So you have the burst of energy at sunrise, and then in the evening you have the energies are receding. So what happens is that the solar system and the sun, it is interacting with the pyramid. So you say the mantra, and then you wait till the fire goes out. So for sunrise, we say, Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Namama Prajapatiye Swaha, Prajapatiye Namama. Every time we say Swaha, we put a bit of rice right there. And so we're saying Sanskrit because Sanskrit is a high vibratory language. No other languages, it doesn't come from any other languages. And so, as you know, everything is built upon vibration and sound. So when you're emitting these sounds, coupled with the alchemical effect of the pyramid, then that is what produces this effect that goes 8 miles up in a 2-mile radius. And so you can see in the test, and I do have some copies of scientific studies, I don't have enough to pass around, where it does cleanse the pathogenic bacteria from the air. If you get a jug, I didn't bring a jug, but if you get a glass jug of tap water and put a little bit of this ash in here, which is the end result of this process, it cleanses the water, everybody. You don't have to go buy this plastic bottles of water. You can make your own highly charged Agnihotra water. So Agnihotra is called the basic Homa fire. And so there are other fires that we do at our center to boost the effects of the Agnihotra. So we're talking about building up your, what they would call your second body, your energy body, is a way of self-healing. As an herbalist, you can add this ash to any herb, and it boosts the effects of any herb. So we tell people that when you do Agnihotra, we're talking about a very, very potent way to heal the planet and heal yourself. Because you got the 5 elements inside of your body, the earth, the wind, the ethers, your water, all of these things are inside our bodies. So we are a reflection of nature. If the earth is sick, why do you think we have so many people that are suffering many different illnesses? And if the scientific studies, they already tell you now, with the pandemics and the epidemics, there's a rise in diseases. They've already said this through scientific studies. So we have to go at the foundation of healing the atmosphere in order to have healing with ourselves. And that includes our minds. So there are many different types of pollution that Agnihotra can remediate, whether it be from air, chemical fires, it cleanses the water, it does these things because you have physical pollution, you have this 5G that people are putting these things up on the pole, and they call me up and say, oh my God, I got a headache. They won't take this box off the pole. So a lot of people have come and said that they've had to move into rural areas or move out of their neighborhoods because they've gotten sick. But as soon as they start doing this, no more headaches. It cleanses all that stuff. And so this is the elixir for all the things that is happening to society. And like I said before, an Ayurvedic system is a study of yourself, human nature, the planet, and the universe, and your relationship to other people, as well as the whole circle of what we call existence. So now when we're talking about pollution, because the pollution now has settled so deep into the very core of the earth, okay, we're talking about the air, the electromagnetic field, the gravity field, all these things. And all these things like beat upon your body. They're not healthy for you at all. And so even for people that have anxiety or PTSD or any of these things, it makes it worse for them, okay? Because you're talking about the ion balance and all of these things that are off because of pollution. So you're talking about a cumulative effect of many different types of pollution that are happening to the human bodies. And as you know, that we're vibratory creatures too. When we vibrate high, the plants feel it. As a matter of fact, after you meditate or pray, this is not about any religion or anything, everybody. Just touch the leaf. You will feel the vibration of the leaf at your fingertips. Just touch the tip of a leaf, and you will see Yoruba priests, shamans in South America. This is all the same technology. When they pray in the forest, they touch the leaf. They say their prayer, they stand up, and this is how they pick the plant medicine. They'll go touch the tree, ask the tree for permission before I get the herb. Is this what I need to heal this person that's coming for healing? You're in communion with everything out there. And as homesteaders and farmers, you do the same thing. So when you are pouring water, what we do is you pour off your right hand, so the energy of you goes into that plant and into the soil. So that way the soil is even fortified with your energy. And if you're full of love and you're forgiving, you're vibrating high, and you will feel that the trees and the plants are sighing with delight because you are full of love. So when we were walking around hateful and angry, the earth shudders. You may not pay attention, but I can sometimes tell it when I'm in the grocery store when someone's angry. I feel it in the trees, I feel it in myself, and sometimes I'll say, oh, hey, is everything okay with you? Are you okay, sweetheart? And they'll look and say, oh, she's being nice to me. Then they'll come tell me all the problems. Oh yeah, tell me the problem, what's happening? Let me talk to you. Because we can't have everybody filled with anger, everybody. We have to be filled with love all the time. That is the best way to protect the planet. So when you're planting and you touch every plant and every leaf, and then what I do sometimes, and Ronnie does too, we will chant mantras in the garden. We're barefoot in the garden. We touch everything as we're putting our plant food and stuff. And what I'll do is I'll say, thank you so much, eggplant. Thank you so much, bell pepper. I love you so much. And I'll touch it. And the plants are rejoicing. So we have to make sure that we make ourselves subtle enough to hear all the voices that are always speaking. So what has happened in modern society, we're taught that we don't need to go within, that we have no power. But we know in the Ayurveda system, everybody has power. Every human being has the intensity of a laser beam, just with your thoughts and intention. So that's what we're talking about with Agnihotra. When you do Agnihotra regularly, not only does it cleanse the planet, it also makes you more subtle and more powerful. You don't have to speak many words, but your second body, your energy body, will become more energized. You'll be fortified with love. and whatever innate abilities that God has given you, okay, it will become just more bountiful. If you are a healer, you become even more intense healer. If you can, your intuition becomes expanded and all of these things. So what they call magic is not magic. It's actually Vedic science, everybody. So what science is in modern times, they want to tell you, this is the science, this is real. That's just a measurement for the physical world. What we're talking about is the science of the things that are not unseen. So that is what people call magic. But there is no magic, it's all science, okay? It's just that we're talking about things that cannot be measured every step of the way. Yeah, you can measure the pathogens that are depleted when you do this and things like that, but we're talking about you are the intensity, you are the healer, no matter what you're doing, okay? That's what we're talking about. And so many years ago, somebody said, and they took the study away, they said in the poorest of neighborhoods, those are the most powerful people. And they were the ones that could feel the vibrations of the planet. Called Homa farming when you're talking about gardening, okay? So we went there and I mean, they were pimping and hoeing right up the street where the school was. I mean, I could tell just energetically, I mean, just the air, it was horrible right there. And so, but it wasn't horrible to me because I understood who the people were. So they're just not realizing how powerful they are. So we set that up there, and in these poor neighborhoods, as I know many people, I know brother, they dump more pollution there, okay? They dump more pollution there. And so this study that now you cannot find, it says that's why they do that. They dump the stuff there because the poor people are the ones that are most connected to the planet with the vibration, their intuition. Curious about what happens when you lose sight and you get stuck into material comfort and you forget that you are of the earth, that we're daughters and brothers and mothers and fathers of the soil. So when I go and talk to these people, and mind you, I talk to rough people. Ronnie can tell you my children are like, oh my God, what, aren't you scared? I'm not scared because I talk to murderers, rapists, and whatever, and I tell them I love them. They just forgotten who they are. And ain't nobody telling the rapist or the murderer that they love them. And how can I help you? Nobody's telling them that. But they need to hear that because at some point they're going to get out of jail.
Yields and cuts your harvest time, and you don't have to worry about the pest. It decreases the pest. And so Ronnie has a Homa garden. As a matter of fact, he does agriculture. He didn't have the effects either from the biolabs. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, when we were there at Ronnie's house, they're South Indian, and the pastor's wife of the family, the family's pastor's wife is calling, going, oh my God, I can taste chlorine, whatever. And Ronnie's mom said, well, wait a minute, we don't feel it over here. And he says, Mom, we do agriculture over here. And so she's met me a few times, so she kind of looked at me and then looked at Ronnie like, what you mean? I was like, so people think this is so simple that it's complex for most people. It's just very simple, and it's simple ingredients. It has to be something simple that everybody can do. So when we talk about sustainability, everybody, we're talking about it has to be something that is equally accessible to all people, okay? So we may have all these initiatives, and I talk to some people, well, we gotta have this solar panel and this and that. That's great, but what about the person living in the hut in Africa, in Mali or Zimbabwe? They're not gonna have no solar panels, okay? Solar panel money. It has to be something accessible. Most people have access to cows, and as long as the cow is eating grass, then that's some good cow dung. So our cows actually we're doing lots of fire at our main center, so they're in a Homa atmosphere, okay? And that means that it's very energized. So if you put crystals in the Homa atmosphere or herbs and they're dried for a while, very medicinal. If you set up beehives, everybody, it has an extra nutrient, extra nutritious honey. When you're talking about, for those that do eat honey. So the birds, the pollinators will be quite happy. You're going to see more of them. You will see more animals in the area that you normally don't see. I mean, they will all flock there because they're coming there for relief. So you're talking about biodiversity, you're talking about healing everything, and like I said, it goes 8 miles up in 2 mile radius. And if you want to test your human body, take your resting pulse rate before Agnihotra, okay? Do Agnihotra and then take your pulse again. It calms you down. And if you couple that with doing deep breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, things like that, then you're even more ultra relaxed. So when you say, hey, I'm really calm about it, everybody was texting me and calling me, running and saying, like, you need to evacuate again. That's why I'm calm, because I'm doing Agnihotra fire. And then I have my disciplines too, because I said they have known about this for many centuries, many different cultures, about all the things that are happening. So people are talking about, why are all these things happening all at the same time? So I talked to many different people across the world, and it's flooding many different places, everybody. There are many forest fires. There are many hurricanes and extreme weather events, and that's the way it's meant to be, so people will pay attention to what's happening. So this is just not here in the United States. So anyone from, like I said, I've talked to medicine women, medicine men, all kind of people as well as regular people, and everybody's like, oh yeah, we've been talking about this for 50 to 100 years. And my daughter was saying, Mom, how do you know all this stuff? I said, because I'm meditating and I let the fire teach me.